How was your weekend? I don't really care. I just got done grading these shitty papers, so it doesn't matter to me. Yeah, so these test averages were probably the worst I've ever seen. And I've seen some pretty bad averages in my 10 years of teaching. But you guys took the cake. You're pretty damn stupid.
No, we ain't talking
Probably
about
don't want these back, but I don't want them either. So there you go. My apologies to your parents.
I'm not an animal.
There you go. Yes, you may take my order. Guess you got lucky.
Really?
Ah.
I can't believe I got a D. I mean, I studied for like 20 minutes. This time I could have spent doing something else, but I couldn't help it. It was just so boring. And who gives a square peg about political science anyway?
Nah, that's not that important, though.
I mean, and if it wasn't, it would be so boring and stupid.
Yeah, listen, something important I gotta tell you.
Yes, baby?
You know I love you, right? You're my little donut.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. The thing is, I think I'm kinda gay. And by kinda, I mean really gay. Yeah, I met this guy a little while ago, and this is going pretty serious, and I didn't want to tell you later, so I thought I'd just do this right now before it got too intense.
Well, we're married on Facebook!
Look, I just thought I'd tell you before it got out of hand.
We have kids. We made a baby twice.
Look, this is hard for me, okay?
Hard for you? It's hard for me, you piece of shit.
Look, you can be outraged, but don't be outrageous.
Professor Bader told me to explain Euclidean spaces to you all. Well, don't know much about them, but here we go. R0, a dot. R1, a line. R2, a T. R3 is a Y. R4 is something that looks like a Y with a line through it. You're expected to understand what these lines do. R1 is a line which is what you consider a number line. And a number line has infinite many numbers between 0 and 1. He expects you to be able to expand 0 to 1 to 0 to 2. You can do that by adding a scalar quantity of any number between 0 and infinity, multiply that scalar by another scalar between 0 and negative infinity, and that is expanding R1. To expand R2, you do the same thing, but when you cross them, you have to multiply by another scalar that's not the same scalar between 0 and infinity and 0 to negative infinity. You have to come up with a new number that's from 0 to imaginary I. Imaginary I is defined as the number between 2 points given in Euclidean space at which there's no real number defined. So the number to I is like e to the I pi. That's a made-up number. And expanding Euclidean spaces, we have to remember that there's a scalar that has to be involved. These scalars are neither real or imaginary. On your test, he'll ask you to come up with an imaginary number. That does not mean you write down any random thing that comes to your mind and call it a number. You have to find a basis for it in real.
Yeah, do you have any idea what this
All
guy's
imaginary
talking
numbers.
about? So I'm going to go to sleep.
Relational reals.
I'm getting out of here. All right, see ya.
He expects me to teach on that. I'm not paid enough to do that, so expanding R3. R3 is what we call three-dimensional space. This is space at which if something happens to you and you feel it. You can expand that from R2 by simply giving it height. But there's positive height, negative height. And no, negative height does not mean you're shorter or taller. Negative height means there's a space beyond what you see, and you have to manipulate that as well. That also requires a lot of work that I'm not paid to teach you. You're expected to learn that from reading the book. Expanding R4 is what I'm expected to teach you. But since I hate this job, I'm really not going to teach y'all that. All y'all need to know that R4 is the space at which the sun rises, and there's a line that connects the ground to the sun. You have to find that line. Professor Band also expects you all to be able to draw pictures in four-dimensional space. He also instructed me to teach you how to do that. But since I'm only paid $8 an hour, paper is two-dimensional, and I don't feel like drawing, y'all gonna have to read the book and figure that out for yourselves.